What if a narcissistic collapse, and will the narcissist recover from it? Hello. Before I respond to the questions, what is meant by the term narcissistic collapse, and what can cause a narcissistic collapse? I would like to note that everyone experiences emotional distress or an emotional collapse, if you want to call it that, at different points in their lives. For example, despite our best efforts, we might fall short in a situation that is very important to us. Alternately, our hearts could be broken. All of us experience defeat and hopelessness occasionally. Another is a narcissistic collapse. It resembles an uncontrollable emotional implosion, if I had to describe it. Some of those collapses might only last a brief period of time, while others might last a very long time. However, narcissists have a very brittle sense of themselves, making it difficult for them to understand the narcissistic collapse. They are constantly seeking praise, admiration, and attention. Furthermore, they lack empathy for other people and have a strong sense of entitlement. Different facets of narcissism can manifest. The grandiose narcissist, who is known for acting arrogantly, would most likely be present. There is haughtiness, domineering behavior, and a strong resistance to criticism. Vulnerable narcissism is characterized by low mood, a sense of ongoing victimhood, a propensity for guilt trips, and an extreme sensitivity to criticism. Regardless of the presentation, however, what we frequently witness are numerous maladaptive defense strategies used to shield that brittle sense of self. In order to avoid accountability and responsibility, people frequently blame other people for their own actions, motivations, and attitudes. When those defense mechanisms aren't functioning or may have stopped functioning in specific circumstances or with specific people, the collapse tends to occur. Different symptoms of the collapse may appear, but narcissists frequently exhibit extreme outrage, rage, frustration, anxiety, crippling depression, and even desperation. So, what happens when those defense mechanisms fail? What triggers a narcissistic collapse? Well, for one thing, it might be something that the narcissist perceives as humiliating, especially something that is experienced in public. Now, this might be a failure in some way. It might be someone pointing out their mistakes. Even if no malice is meant, others may be making jokes at their expense, or they might be in over their heads because of the circumstances. No amount of self-righteousness, bravado, or intellectualizing can satisfy their narcissistic need for admiration. Humility is not something narcissists do well. They may find it difficult to accept the notion that other people are more accomplished in various fields or possess knowledge or skills that they do not. The way others see them is extremely important to them because of their weak ego. To feel special, they rely on the approval of others. When people are not perceived by others as flawless, perfect, or virtuous, this exposes a vulnerability within them that they find challenging to deal with. They are constantly reminded of their shortcomings, making it challenging for them to maintain their pretense. Losing one's reputation or status may also lead to narcissistic collapse. Perhaps their deceit, their plots, and their improper conduct are coming to light, and no amount of victimization, scapegoating, or blaming others will help them restore their good reputation. Shame-based desperation may result from this. Another possibility is the fear of ruining their reputation, losing their status, or coming under scrutiny. For instance, they might be aware that there will be repercussions for something they did or said that they later realize wasn't right. They may prepare a lot of justification and things to say in an effort to divert attention from themselves. However, no matter what they come up with, the pain won't really go away. Additionally, the fear of losing their status can be extremely crippling. They might experience such severe anxiety that they are unable to function in the present because of their fear of a future in which they won't be admired or envied. In some circumstances, they might even struggle to get out of bed. The realization that they are not as exceptional and special as they think they are may also lead to a collapse. They are no more entitled than anyone else, despite what they believe. They do not receive a reward for justice being served. They are not given any special consideration. No one is required to love them or to show them respect. They may feel mistreated if their sense of entitlement is questioned. They are, in fact, simply receiving fair treatment on par with everyone else. Their already low self-esteem and confidence frequently plummet. They might spread rumors, make victimization claims, have a tantrum, or stonewall to express their annoyance. Any effort to reclaim some sense of agency over their treatment. Finally, when they are unable to get their narcissistic supply despite all efforts, they collapse. There is no ego feeding going on. Their plans, magical thinking, and sense of omnipotence either don't work or don't work as well as they once did. Nobody is interested in how unique they perceive themselves to be, how intelligent, appealing, or moral they claim to be. It doesn't interest anyone. There are also enablers, flying monkeys, or agents to aid them or work in concert with them. Perhaps the lies are no longer believed. They might be being disregarded. Nobody fears them, and nobody admires them. In their desperation to end the pain and try to regain supply, they can become quite frantic. It's possible that, in some instances, people know about them because of their reputation, or perhaps they simply keep missing and heading towards the wall when they try. The extreme anxiety and frustration eventually give way to excruciating misery. Many individuals who exhibit strong narcissistic traits like emotional intelligence and are either unable or unwilling to reflect on their own behavior. Shame and vulnerability might be triggered by this. A narcissist may claim to be in great pain but be unable to explain why they are or what the source of their suffering is, demonstrating their lack of understanding. Additionally, a lack of empathy may indicate that a person doesn't care or doesn't understand why others won't grant them their wishes, why others might be content or do better without them. The best they can hope for is to simply blame others for their suffering. They may assert that they are being abused, unfairly treated, or that what happened was exaggerated, but they struggle to accept or admit that they play a role in what transpired. As they attempt to flee the feelings of pain and shame and avoid the distress of the collapse, their solution to the problem are occasionally quite frantic, irrational, and poorly thought out. They may apologize if they are the reason for their own suffering. However, they frequently aren't sorry for their action at all. Rather, they are sorry for the consequences. They may occasionally come to the realization that they need to make a change during a narcissistic collapse. They may seek assistance, but it really depends on the individual and how deeply ingrained their narcissism runs. Some people might devote a lot of time to improving themselves. Others might simply be looking for a simple, quick solution to the issue, a solution that doesn't really require them to do any work. I believe that these defense mechanisms are the root of the problem, owning up to their mistakes. If they think the solution is outside of them, then the problem does too. Or perhaps they receive fresh supplies, or perhaps things work themselves out naturally. They simply return to doing the same things over and over.